Hello everyone and welcome to this week's reviews. Tim Burton returns with his latest feast for the eyes, and this time he takes one of Disney's animated classics and adapts it to live action. Will this cute baby elephant soar? This is Dumbo. I'm one of Tim Burton's most ardent defenders, and unlike most, I don't think he's at a dry spot in his career. So it disappoints me greatly to say I was rather underwhelmed by Dumbo. It's not a bad movie, as Burton has never made a bad movie in my opinion. It's just disappointingly average. The strangest creative decision with this film is to heavily focus on the human characters, to the point where Dumbo is pushed to the side of his own story. He's primarily used as a plot device for the circus performers, specifically Dan DeVito's ringmaster and Colin Farrell's war veteran. That wouldn't be such a problem if the people were more interesting, but I found they just fit into neat little archetypes. Even Farrell's disability he attained in the war, they don't do much with, and his children are even more boring. Now that's an adjective I've never used to describe a Burton film. Even his lesser films always have something interesting going on, but there were parts in Dumbo that I felt dragged. The characters were not developed enough for my liking, and it says something when the animated film is only about an hour long, and yet Dumbo has a fully realized arc. Not so much here, where he's even off-screen for portions of it. And while the special effects are certainly well done, I did not find the magic when he started flying. And I did not even feel the emotion either, despite the fact that yes, Burton does recreate the baby mind sequence. Of course, this is a Tim Burton film, and as a result, the movie is visually stunning. I love how the movie really leans into its time period, and it has an appropriately old-fashioned look, thanks to Rick Heinrich's production design and Colleen Atwood's costumes. When we go to Michael Keaton's amusement park in the second half, it even looks like something out of a Winsor McCay comic. Otherwise, I just found it odd that Burton, who's done so well in celebrating outcasts, relegates the titular outcast to a supporting role. And his name is in the title. Next up, Harmony Korine returns to Florida for his newest strange feature, The Beach Bum. When the movie begins, it feels almost aimless, as it just sort of cuts from Matthew McConaughey in one part of Florida to another, and I tried wondering what Korine was getting at. However, I eventually got into the groove of it, and the result ended up being a rather funny journey with this drug-addled failed poet. McConaughey brings a natural quality to the role, and it seems like Korine gave his actors quite a bit of leeway in how to portray and develop their characters. Moondog is a very flawed person, and ultimately rather troubled, and yet Korine does seem to root for him and wants him to succeed. I do have to praise the editing. What started off as a bit unfocused eventually started to nicely flow from scene to scene, and the montages are particularly well cut. If you saw his previous film, Spring Breakers, Korine has a specific way he uses colors and shadows to depict Florida, and that continues in The Beach Bum. A lot of the humor comes not so much from Moondog, but rather different people he comes in contact with. Jonah Hill is especially bizarre in his acting choices, while Snoop Dogg also gets some laughs in. However, the standout is Martin Lawrence. He is only in a small section of the movie, but he's probably the best part. The build-up and the payoff to his cameo are hilarious, and shows that when given the right material, Lawrence can be very funny. I also appreciated how Moondog's daughter was portrayed. She is the voice of reason, but she's not written in the cliched way one would expect. This is a Harmony Korine film, so it will not be for everyone, but there is a sincerity to the film. While Spring Breakers took a more critical eye to Florida, The Beach Bum is more of a celebration. Thank you for watching this week's reviews, and I'll see you next time.